Hey everybody, we're back for another episode of My Big Fat Junk Drawer. I have an exciting guest today. We have known each other for a super long time, and really, well, technically we met 2006. We started working together at an editorial company, but as we chatted with each other, we figured out in college we ran in the same circles and were at the same parties. So we've been friends peripherally for many years. So I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce my friend and coworker, Alicia. Welcome, Alicia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for being voluntold, our favorite word.
Yes,
to come and do this.
I'm used to it. I'm used to being voluntold for a lot of things.
No, it's because you're great.
Okay.
Well, it is. If people want something done right, they come to Alicia.
Oh,
That's right.
So just do it right yourself.
Well, that would be best, but we know that never happens. So, Alicia, what have you brought from your junk drawer today?
Well, I have many junk drawers like you and many things, but I thought for an introductory to how we kind of started becoming friends, I brought my trusty red pen.
Oh, I totally get it. The red pen. Oh.
I have so many of these in so many places in my house and in my car, which I told you the other night. I thought I probably have one in my car. I did.
Yeah, we love the red pens because we edited a lot of copy in our days, didn't we?
Until 2006, I think black pens were my pen of choice, and now I only use red unless I have to sign something legal.
Yeah. To a lot of people, I have heard red pens are scary and look angry. That's the opinion I've heard.
Yes. Yes. Well, and I never thought of that way because my mom had me use, it was a red Sharpie, not a red pen. But when I graded her students' papers, once I passed the first grade, I could help her grade because she was a first grade teacher, which she probably wouldn't want me to share that. But I had a key. I had the answers. I didn't make up the answers.
Very good. Yes, we, oh my gosh, those editorial days where we worked, 10, 12 hours a day?
Oh, at least working until 8 o'clock at the office, going home, putting pages all on my living room floor and falling asleep on top of them while I edited.
Yeah, that was before you could do anything online. We had to bring physical pages home. We won't say where we worked, but I used to call it lovingly the Fortress of Solitude because we spent so many hours there.
Oh, yes. So
many hours. We used to order dinner in, actually. Yeah. Remember those days, the P.F. Chang days?
Yes. Lots and lots of P.F. Chang. Lots of rice and keyboards.
Yeah. Yes. Lots of afternoon coffee runs.
Yes, to try and stay awake.
Yeah, it was a lot. Oh, man. So, yeah, that was exciting times. What do you love about editing?
Well, as I just said, I edited some today. And the more...
No, but what do you love about
it? What do I love about editing?
No, what is horrible about it? Come on.
What do I love about it? I don't know. It's kind of natural to me. It's something that I don't know. I don't understand how other people don't see what I see. And I know you see what I see, but I just don't understand because I've been editing my whole life. I remember reading cereal boxes and shampoo bottles and finding the mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I was editing like always. Menus were a big thing.
Oh, yeah. I think looking back, I was probably that way too. Just looking and seeing mistakes and be like, I could do that better than they can, I guess. Well, we used to get those comments too at the old Fortress. We'd get people emailing in and saying, I've caught this mistake. I could do this better than you can. Yeah, let's see you try it when you're under a deadline and then they go to print. Sorry.
Yeah. And that job also taught me a lot about not being a perfectionist. I did not have time. And we had a common phrase that we always said. You even had it put on T-shirts.
I did. I had a T-shirt made. We'll catch it in reprints was our favorite phrase because we would try.
Yes. Yep. We would try. Well, luckily the first editions, because they knew there were going to be errors.
Yes.
The first editions were not sold. They were just used as, samples and stuff to show people what was in the textbooks. But the second edition was always the better edited edition.
Right. Well, and I think I can go a step further and say what we did was educational publishing, where when you edit one piece, you have to understand that when you're editing something in one spot, you have to make that change in about 7 other places and know where that content lives. And that is my biggest pet peeve now. When someone makes a change to something and they don't make it somewhere else, I'm like, oh boy.
Yes. Or they don't realize how much that impacts.
Yes.
To make that one little change. Because, that was when I was editing today. One of the things I did think back on our days of on paper, because I was able to just do find and replace.
Oh, yeah.
Like everywhere it occurred. And we didn't used to have that.
No, we'd have to look for it line by line. Oh my gosh. I'm getting hives just thinking about it. It was a lot of work. And because they were on pages, you'd get your pages and then you'd have overset. Yeah. So you'd have to cut like paragraphs out and figure out how it was going to fit and still meet your standards and things.
Well,
like
yes, and still provide the same information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how we got to be creative.
Yes, it was. I worked on grade levels below you for a while until we worked on the same team. I referred to my grade level as the kitten and puppy level because it was a little lower.
I had to do assessments for that level at one point, and that was very challenging.
Yeah, lots of kittens and puppies at my level. Also, another funny thing about editors, usually the names of, test items, things like that, if there are names in there, it's usually the names the editors know. Family members, pet names.
Yes. My mom was very upset when I told her how we created the titles, the authors of books, like story titles.
Yeah.
And I told her that was because we were doing things that were created just for our textbooks.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, I said authors who write their own books, they're real people. Don't worry. Those people are real. If there's a bio, then that's a real person.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
We didn't provide bios. No. We just titled. And yes, I would mix up people's names. Like I would take the first name of my niece and then the last name of my sister or something like that.
Yeah. We never got credit, so we figured, why not put myself in here somehow?
Yep, exactly.
I'm doing all this work. Yeah. Why not?
Yes.
So you love to edit. Do you like to write as well?
I do. I was going to say, we could talk about a lot of our writing on various podcasts. And maybe, yes, I do write. I write poetry, short stories. This year, I haven't had time to write anything that I wasn't being paid to write for work because I've been very busy. But yes.
Yeah, I should have you guest write on my blog. I need some more material up there. I need to farm out the space.
Oh, I was watching something yesterday, and didn't you know the blog is dead? It was a teenager in a Netflix show that said this.
Oh, my daughter says the same thing about all my ideas.
Your podcast is replacing them.
I know.
Just turn your transcripts into the blogs.
Well, no, this is true. I could. But I have a great idea for that blog. I already have a tote bag idea that says portable junk drawer on it.
Yes. I was talking to Troy after we discussed the blog. And so I already have all these ideas too of merch that we could create and we could tie it to each episode. And
oh my gosh, see, this is great. You guys have to keep listening and subscribing so we can get to a point where we can have merch.
Yes, we kind of need followers first. But
yeah, please follow us. Follow.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. So you don't have time to write anything right now.
Not really.
Sadly.
I write a lot for work because in addition to editing, I also create online trainings. So different online modules. So I'm always writing. It's just not always as creative.
Yeah. So you do now you're more into curriculum design and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So what does that consist of for the layman who doesn't understand it?
For curriculum design, the curriculum design is one part. That's kind of what we did as editors.
It really is
which
on
is
a basic level, yeah.
Yeah, which the title did, I think, got changed after I left. But it's basically developing what someone needs to know and do to practice something that they're learning in order to learn how to do something or learn a new skill, learn a new topic. And so mostly what I do is create online modules. So I, have to first create the curriculum, and then I have to turn it into something more interactive online for people to participate in. And sometimes we have virtual sessions where, like webinars.
Yeah.
Where they get to explore and learn even more.
And I know because we work at the same place again now. There was a time when
I love Amanda so much. I try to bring her everywhere I go.
I'm just a little pal.
Even we started when you were working on a different level, and then our team needed more people. I was like, Amanda is coming over here.
So I moved over there, and then I moved to California, and then I moved back and went back to the fortress.
But this is when you helped me out. Because you brought me over to your team there.
That's right.
When you moved back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Alicia, we've been entangled for years.
Because our team that you had worked with me on was done.
Yes.
And so I needed a new project.
Yeah, because I even moved disciplines. We both did. So yeah, then we worked together. Then I left the fortress again. And then you moved to where you are now.
Yes.
And then I moved to where you are now.
Because I drug you over.
Yes.
Well, we had another colleague that was retiring that I had previously drug over. That I had previously drug over. And then when she retired, I was like, well, we need somebody to replace her. So.
And we loved her.
Yes. We love her.
We love her still.
Yeah, we're still in contact.
I know. Yeah, talk about someone who knows their grammar, the grammar hammer, who I've inherited the grammar hammer from.
I feel like I know nothing compared to
I know.
her. I'm just play editing.
I still have her notes from when she left. She did a lot for me.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah, you have all of that. I probably should look at it more often.
Yeah, well.
I just edit as in it needs to all be consistent. So whatever I choose, I just stick with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. That's not true. I do follow standard rules and things like that.
Yeah, and usually that's project based on who you're working for, who your sponsor is, because it can change. And I mean, whatever they say, okay, I'll do it how you want it.
That's one of the changes that recently happened this year because the project that I was editing for today, we started it in 2023 and they did not use the Oxford comma.
That's a hill I'll die on.
I know, me too. Me too. It was painful, very painful to take all the Oxford commas out of the stuff I had edited. And then in January of 2024, they adopted the Oxford comma. So this year, I've had to put the commas back in. I'm more happy about it because I love the Oxford comma, but
I'm such a rule breaker that I never take out the Oxford comma. I don't care. Because I love it.
Well, it depends on how closely they look at things.
Yeah.
This project, they were very hands-on.
Meticulous about that.
Yes. Yeah. So we had to take it all out and then put it all back in. But I do a lot of online modules for them, and they don't look as closely, and those all have Oxford commas.
I tell you, you're either Oxford or you're not. And if you're not an Oxford comma, you're wrong. I'm sorry. There are very few things that I'll argue about. Like,
yes.
Really.
Most of the time I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I'll be like, whatever. Push back, but it's fine.
Yes.
Not the Oxford comma. It is there.
To save grandmas.
Yes. To save grandmas. Let's eat, grandma. Not let's eat, grandma.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, commas. Gotta love them. Now, I remember when you first started at this current job that you're in, one of the things that you hated in the beginning was public speaking.
Oh, yes.
And now you're all over the place. You're
I
speaking all the time.
I know. It's still rough.
Mm-hmm.
I still get nervous, but now I only get nervous like the half hour or so before it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get nervous 2 weeks before it.
Oh, yeah.
For 2 weeks straight, I would be a mess. So it is getting better. Some of it is knowing more, being more confident in what I know, and trying to only present and talk in public about things I know. So like talking to you now. I know what I lived, so I can talk to you. But if you asked me to recite something that I had to memorize, I would be a mess.
No. Yeah, I think I would probably not like that either.
Well, and I actually, a long time ago, before I started the job where we originally met, air quotes, because I know we met before. We just
so funny.
Didn't know that we had or whatever. We just weren't super close like we are now.
Right.
But I interviewed for a position teaching Microsoft products in like a computer lab.
Oh.
Just to whoever wanted to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the interview and they're like, we want to make sure you know what you're going to be doing. So they took me to a classroom to observe one of the instructors. I had to excuse myself and went and threw up in the bathroom because I was that nervous about that possibly being my job.
Oh.
And then now, like you
now
said,
you're doing it all the time. You travel and
now
go to conferences.
Yes, now I present at conferences multiple times a year. And
yeah. I have to say our colleagues are all very welcoming and fun to be around and good to work with. So I'm sure they ease that nervousness too.
Well, and that's the thing too. I try to present with someone that I'm comfortable with, like just so it's not just all on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it where it's just all on me, but it's just easier
Good
when
to
you
have
somebody.
support. Like improv.
Yes.
Feel supported on stage.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. Like my supervisor, she and I think we went to a conference that we had never presented at, and we got compliments afterwards because of the dynamic between the two of us, and we would just riff off of each other. That's and we great. Would like even make fun of each other, use each other as examples. And I think that's why we got such great feedback.
So when you're writing, when you do have time to write on your own and do your own stuff, what do you prefer? Do you like poetry, fiction? What are you into?
Well, poetry in college, I wrote fiction, but I've always written poetry. And when I write fiction, it's more short stories. I have tons of ideas for novels, but I can't get started.
Me too. We're the same. And I will say that we are each other's like readers. Mm-hmm. So whenever you have something, you'll send to me to read. And when I have something, I send to you to read. I don't let anyone else read it. And I've told the folks upstairs, my family, that that's the way it goes. I don't let anyone read it except Alicia.
Well, yeah. Well, my mom has read my poetry. Some of it. I don't share it all with her. But my short stories that I wrote in college, which I kind of did it purpose. I wrote short stories. I was a sorority girl and bubbly, and
that's so funny to me.
I was too.
No,
I know. We're not now.
I know.
Neither one of us were sarcastic and like
so funny.
We got beaten down by that job. But I wrote dark stuff just to get a shock out of my classmates because we had to it was a creative writing class. So everybody read everybody's work and like then discussed it. And so that shock factor. I wrote stuff and my mom, I let her read it long after college, after I was not living that way. And she was very upset by it. But she also cannot watch anything scary. She doesn't like murder mystery. She doesn't like anything gory. So very disturbed by it. So
I can see that one.
But yes, but poetry I've always written. I started probably in junior high writing poetry. And I go through cycles where I have a lot of junk drawers. I go through cycles where I purge though. Mm-hmm. And I purged everything from junior high and high school.
Really?
I have no poetry from them.
Wow. I still have mine.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny.
I purged it all. It's like,
it's a big step. I need to, but I haven't yet.
Well, that's because when I was a kid, like my mom would be like, clean your room. And so I'd just be like, throw everything away because I don't care. whatever. I don't care. I'll just get rid of it. But now I wish I would have kept it.
Yeah.
I mean, because then I could have seen like my progress, my advancement. Like now I only have things from college and beyond.
Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of fun to keep those things and read where you were and kind of where you are now and how you grew. That's why I can't get rid of it.
I don't know. It's like every 6 months, I just go through this purge phase.
Yeah.
And
since I store everything now on my computer, I don't throw anything away. I just don't, because I find if I'll write something real fast and then not look at it again for months and then come back to it and be like, that idea wasn't that terrible.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes they're stinkers, but sometimes you're like, that's workable. I could do something with that if I had the time.
Yes. Yeah. If you had the time, well, look what you're doing now.
Oh my, this is a time waster. Let me tell you.
Well, like I said, like it's different than what you do on a regular basis. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I record and edit audio.
So this would not be good for you to do.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about what can I do that is nothing. That's probably like why I like to cook and bake and stuff, because I don't do that. I mean, I thought about that as a career at one point and I was like, I won't want to do it anymore. So
that's true. It's hard to have the energy after you get done writing and editing and producing content all day to come home and do it again.
So yes, this isn't produced at all. We didn't script any of this. This
no,
is all
it's
like
not.
real.
I know. I'd like to remind
I
people.
do not have that kind of time.
No. Yeah, I'd like to remind people. I didn't know she was going to bring a red pen today.
And she wouldn't even let me tell her.
No.
I'm like, I have all these ideas. Can I tell you? No.
So basically, you're going to be back, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. People might be like, her voice sucks. Get her off. Don't ever put her back on. I'll just feed other people my ideas.
No, you have to come back.
I have the voice for talkies.
Yeah. So other than
silent films.
So other than baking and writing and editing, you're also, we were talking about this the other day, you like to kayak and be outdoors and do outdoorsy things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I like to hike. We hike, well, we don't hike as much as we should or want to, but we do try to hike, and most of the time it's on a Civil War battlefield or somewhere near there.
That sounds interesting to me.
But yes, I do like to kayak. My parents live in Florida, and I would like to spend more time there, but work kind of prevents that. So I do like to kayak, and I like to spend time in and on water. Was it last year? Well, a couple years ago, I got an inflatable kayak. Well, my mom went last year with me, and she's like,
a leak?
No, it's fine. It's completely fine. But she did not like it. And she's like, what kayak do you want? A real one. And so like I told her, and she bought it like that day, that night. So last year, they were up here for a little while. But then after they left, I started kayaking. Well, I was kayaking with my aunt before that, but with my crappy inflatable, and then my inflatable paddleboard, which I can't stand on. I have tried.
Oh,
I went by myself and ended up having to swim to shore with it because I could not. I couldn't get back on.
Oh my gosh.
My arms are weaklings. But yeah, so I kayak with my aunt, so that's really nice to get to spend time with her, and my cousins join us when they can. And then my mom's looking forward to kayaking again this summer.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I haven't been kayaking in a long time. Did you get your inflatable kayak from the prize catalog of the Fortress of Solitude?
No, I did not.
Do you remember the prize catalog for
I knew it existed, but I don't know that I ever got to utilize it.
Someone I knew there got the inflatable kayak as, I've been here so many years. This is my work anniversary gift. And it sprung a leak like the first time she got it.
No, mine's perfectly fine. Mine is fine. My husband would like me to get rid of it now that I have a real kayak.
Yeah.
And my paddleboard, since I can't stand on it. But other people might be able to use them. And
just put it on the driveway like I do and say free to go to home.
No, I'm just going to keep it. I don't know. It's not taking up that much space.
No.
Kayak's in a little, like a backpack. I shouldn't say little because it's not. They're
it's
both
not hurting Troy any.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah. He's got plenty of things that I
like him
Troy,
to get rid I know of. What you've got over there. We need to do our happy hours more often. This is a happy hour / podcast event. We've got our drinks.
Yeah, we should tell them.
We just finished work.
Well, and how recently we just had a happy hour.
We did on Friday. We decided to do this. Super exciting. So what else is going on?
See, everybody asks me that, and I'm like, work.
Are you traveling in the near future?
Yes. This year, I'm trying to limit. I went to so many conferences in the past 12 months that I'm like, I want to try to limit conferences. However, I got voluntold.
I love that word.
To go to California in July.
Oh, so yeah,
I will
Long
be going.
Beach. Is that
yes,
where? Oh, the LBC.
I will be going to Long Beach in July for a conference. And then, we're planning, I don't know. I plan things. I'm a planner. My husband is not. And so he keeps switching things on me. So I was planning for us to go to Glacier.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Because his uncle lives there and I've been wanting him to go. And he's like, it's too far away. It'll take this many days and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And so now we're probably, and I was also trying to include too much probably. Because I was going to do Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, Wind Cave, and Deadwood.
Yeah.
All in that same trip. Oh, Yellowstone too.
Okay, maybe it is a little too much.
Yeah, well, we recently just had like a 3-day weekend trip, and I crammed too much into that. So he was like, yeah, that's too much. So we might just do South Dakota only. But then he's like, well, he got a national parks passport, which he just got, and we've been to a lot of parks. Well, guess what? Now we have to visit them all again.
To get your stamp.
Yes. So he's like, why don't we go back to Virginia and do all the battlefields that we've already been to?
Oh, I'd love to do that.
And then, Gettysburg. But we're definitely going to do Gettysburg in 2026 because that's when the reenactment and everything will happen on the exact days. Not just the dates, but the actual days of the week that they occur.
So you have both been to Gettysburg before?
Yeah. He's been multiple times and I've been once.
Have you been there overnight?
Not on the field overnight.
Have you seen any creepy goings on?
No.
Because I have a story.
I'm sure.
So my dad, who was always skeptical about, those kind of things, he told us one time, and he would never say this, it was just, I think one time he shared it, that I believe he and my mom were at Gettysburg and they were there like camping somewhere at night. And the next day he asked her, he's like, didn't you hear all of those soldiers moaning all night long? She's like, no. Like, yeah, he said it's a very haunted place. And my dad was not the kind of person who would ever say those kind of things.
Well, Troy definitely would. He hasn't, but he would like to camp on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Like we were, one of the battlefields we were just at, he's like, I would just like to be, all the parks close at dusk, so you can't.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I would love to be out here at night.
Yeah.
And just feel that. You and I went somewhere with another colleague of the Fortress to a haunted, didn't we?
Yes,
to a haunted thing.
We went to the Granville. Was it the Granville Inn?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
I couldn't remember what it was.
Yes.
My memory's awful.
Oh, we did have a moment because we were
dining room.
Yes, we were in that dining room, and all of a sudden it got super hot in there, and I couldn't breathe. Like my throat started to close up.
Very claustrophobic, and I don't get claustrophobia.
And at the same
time,
all. You and I are like, I got to get out of here, and you were the same way. It was weird.
It was instantly. We just looked at each other, and we're like, This is not right.
I love spooky things, though. I would totally go. You know where I want to go? Where the Mansfield prison, where they shot Shawshank Redemption. They always have those ghost tours, those night ones. Emma wants to go.
Oh, maybe we need to have plans. Ooh, maybe we take our podcast friends with us.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Hear me scream, shriek with terror. I do like spooky things.
Well, see, when I was in high school, I would always take my friends to go to the haunted, what's it called then? Haunted cornfield, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad knew a lot of the guys that worked there. He would tell me what they were dressed like and all that stuff. So I'd just be like walking up to him like, hey. My friends would be like clinging to me, clinging. I had one friend, it was a chilly night, so I had my jacket all buttoned up.
Mm-hmm.
She hung on the back of my jacket, about choked me because she was so terrified. I was like,
being scared.
Because I mean, they had people sitting up out of coffins, like they would be in a coffin until you look over and then pop up. She fell to her knees. That's when she choked me, because she was still holding the back of my jacket when she fell to her knees. But yes,
we should do that. We should plan for the Mansfield
yes.
supernatural things they have. They sell out fast. You have to be quick. Yeah. You know, somewhere else I want to go is that Winchester Mystery House in California.
No.
With the House of Sarah Winchester, where all the doors don't go anywhere and the stairs go nowhere.
Wow, no. My mom and I did go. Were you with us when we were out in Long Beach? I know we came out to visit you, and we went. What is that ship? It's supposed to be
the Queen
haunted.
Mary.
Yes,
yeah,
Queen
we
Mary.
did.
See,
I think horrible. I was with you.
Yeah, I think you were. Yeah, my mom really wasn't into it.
It was a weird. Yeah, it was a weird feeling. I used to hear her blow her horn at noon, 3 and 6 every day. Yeah, you came out to visit. We went on a whale watch.
Yes,
that was awesome. I tell Emma about that, because the whales would come right up to the boat. Like they knew who you were. They're like, hey, I'm a whale. Look at me. And they'd put a fin out.
Yes, exactly. They were like waving and stuff.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was so fun. So if you ever go on a whale watch, do it if you have the chance. So it's very cool. Tell me something else. What else is going on? It's fun.
I don't know. I'm not that fun.
What have you baked recently, since you love baking?
Well, since we just got off of a sugar detox, not much.
What a horrible thing to do.
I will say one thing. My mother-in-law loves blackberries. So, okay. I've always made her strawberry cake, with cream cheese frosting and stuff for her birthday, because she likes that. But then last year, she told me, you know what I'd really love, because she knows that I love baking, and I'll figure it out, is blackberry cake, like a cake with blackberries. Well, I tried a couple months ago. I was like, okay, well, I make a pumpkin roll every year. So I'm like, I'm going to replace the pumpkin puree with blackberry puree.
Ooh.
So I did it. I cooked the blackberries all down and made a nice puree, took out the seeds and everything, which is a real pain.
Wow, that is a pain.
And then I made it. I had the consistency, the same as what the pumpkin was. It tastes like I was eating medicine. So I was like, fail. I will not be doing that. So my next try is I got blackberry powder.
Oh.
So it's freeze-dried blackberry.
Where do you find blackberry powder?
Online.
Amazon?
Yeah, yes. That's where I got my inflatable kayak and my inflatable paddleboard.
I get everything at Amazon.
So do I. I just pulled in something off the porch as I pulled out of the driveway. Come here. But blackberry powder, it's freeze-dried blackberries that they make into powder, because I watch all these baking shows. So I'm trying to learn. So that's what they normally use. Mm-hmm. So the plan is I'm going to make, this was Troy. He's always got to solve problems, even when I don't ask him for a solution. He said that I should make individual cupcakes and just alter, because I have all these ideas of how I could do things. He's like, alter each cupcake. So that way you have a little sample of each. So you don't have to, because he hates blackberries, so he's not going to help me try them.
This is all to benefit Troy, honestly.
Yes, really. Really. So I'm going to make cupcakes. I'm going to try the powder in the cake mix. Mm-hmm. That's going to be one option. I'm going to try or it might be a couple options. Then I'm going to try the powder in buttercream. And then I also have blackberry jam that I'm going to probably, fill a couple of the cupcakes with. And then I'll also try just buttercream by itself, and then real blackberries.
I am volunteering
to help sample. Okay. Well, there you go.
That's what we need to do. In the ring.
That's what we need to do then. We need to plan our podcasting marathon with all of my different topics that I have thought of. You tell me about this, and then I'm all of a sudden like, ooh, wheels spinning. I actually woke up at 5 a.m. on Sunday.
What? That's terrible.
Or was it Saturday? Saturday. Because I had all these ideas.
Just sit up straight up in bed.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, I
idea.
can't get back to sleep because I got all these genius ideas for Amanda's podcast.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Bring me the ideas.
I'm like even thinking of different people and what they could have for their items.
Meanwhile, last week I was sitting on my floor upstairs recording a podcast about my trunk of fun that I schlep around.
That was an amazing podcast episode. I thought it was really good. You need to do more of those, but I'll help you out with some.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'd like to fill my schedule a little more than what it is. Good times. Well, yeah, I am going to come over and sample. And maybe I will send Emma to your house to learn from you.
To learn to bake?
Yes. I'm not good at baking.
Oh.
You have to be too precise. I always mess it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's what I've heard from other people because I like to cook too. Mm-hmm. And that's what they'll say is like, well, you can't be as creative because I don't measure when I cook. Like when I have to. Yeah.
I feel like I'll mess it up if I don't.
I'll do a recipe once or twice. Mm-hmm. I'll follow the recipe, but then it's like, bam, bam. I just throw in, yes, I get the reference. I'll just throw in different things and different measurements, which I have been criticized because it doesn't always taste the same, but so what? If you don't like it, do it yourself.
Eat it. Or do it yourself.
That's what I say, do it yourself. But baking, you can be creative because look, I mean, I was creative. It failed, but so what?
Yeah. I've never seen blackberry powder. I'm still amazed by that.
Yeah.
That's even a thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot more like blueberry and strawberry powders than there are blackberry. Oh, blueberry. But I did find it.
Let's try blueberry.
You're going to have
I'm going to send you a list of things I want.
But I've been baking since I was little. I like my mom, Christmas cookies. I remember being in my high chair, probably about 3 years old, and my mom would have me like rolling dough and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Making like cookie balls and things like that.
Sweaty balls.
I know. I know. I saw the gears.
I was coming. You could tell. My mind was going to go there.
Sorry, a 3-year-old was not handling sweaty balls.
I'm glad. God.
But so yeah, I've been baking a long time.
Now, do you find cooking therapeutic? Because I do not. I find it stresses me out. Some people love it, and it's just it's good to like relax and do something you don't normally do. How is it for you?
It depends. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm on a schedule, like if I suck at like coordination of the things.
Yes, like timing things.
So making terrible. Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
No, well, which I'm not allowed to cook a full turkey ever again because it's like hard and dry on the outside and raw in the middle. I am not good at that. Yeah. But yeah, the timing of things, like things would be done way ahead of time. I'm not good at that.
I'm not good at that either. I don't even know how to improve.
I don't know. If I'm allowed to be creative, then yeah, I enjoy it. I would say I enjoy baking more. It's not a requirement. Mm-hmm. We don't have to eat desserts.
Yeah.
We kind of have to eat dinner, so I have to make that.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Never thought of that. Well, and I prefer desserts.
Well, like it, I don't really anymore. I don't have much of a sweet tooth these days.
I wish I didn't, but I do.
But yeah, like at Christmas, I have like an assembly line. I've done it so often. Like I make several pumpkin rolls. And so I'm like, okay, make the first one, pour it in, put it in the oven, make the batter for the next one. I just keep doing that.
I'd like to learn how to make a pumpkin roll.
And then like roll them up and let them cool and then start on the frosting.
I made peppermint patties a few years ago. I should make those again. Those were pretty good. They turned out okay. Yeah. If I have to like get in the mood for it, and I don't do it a lot, but sometimes the feeling will grab me and I'll be like, oh, that sounds like fun to make. So I'll try it. But
yeah, it all depends on what kind like time schedule I have. Mm-hmm. If I'm not stressed and I have the luxury, then I'll do it.
Yeah. Excellent. What have you, I know we talk about this sometimes. What are you and Troy watching on Netflix nowadays? We usually have the same interests.
Well, he's not watching Netflix. Mostly.
Or what are you guys watching in general?
Mostly what I watch on Netflix, he thinks I'm teenage girl, which,
Well,
to be honest, most of the time until I look in the mirror or am sore,
I'm still feel
that I feel like I'm a teenage girl. The mirror and my body don't like agree.
I just cover up all the mirrors.
So I watch a lot of teen things. So I just marathon watched yesterday School Spirits.
Oh, I'll have to write that down. I haven't seen
Well,
that.
that's the one where the blog is dead. That's one of the things.
Great.
From it.
That'll make me feel good about myself.
No. But we watch, in live TV, which we don't watch it live. We record things and then we watch it. But Shogun, that's one.
Mike was watching that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watch that. We watch The Amazing Race. We've watched every season. We always watch that. Those are things that we watch together faithfully. He did watch one episode of Shogun when I was at a conference, but he watched it again with me when I got back and didn't tell me until I finished watching it with him that he had watched
that sometimes. You're like, I watch this, but I'll watch it again.
Yeah. And then we like a lot of British detective shows.
Oh,
that's what we're really
You know
into.
what? My mom has gotten Emma into detective shows and murder shows. That kid comes home at 3:00 and watches Dateline every day. She's like so into murder. And
I don't watch Dateline. I watch things that are like fictional.
I know, but I don't like true crime.
No, I don't watch true crime because it's true.
I know.
It's too scary.
My mom has gotten her into all that crap.
So like we watched every single Midsummer Murders. We watched there's Inspector Morse and I can't remember all the others. Troy looks up what order you should watch things in, and so we watch them in those orders. Death in Paradise, that one's good.
I'm
my
sure
parents
my mom has
love
seen
that.
all of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say my parents do too, which is pretty bad. Like I watch things that a teenage girl would watch, and then things that an 80-year-old man would watch.
Oh my gosh. Oh, did you guys watch that show on Netflix? It was so good. Our coworker, he told me to watch it. It was called Dark. I believe it was in German. It was about these German. I kind of liken them to like a Christopher Nolan type weird thing. It is so good. There's time travel involved, which I'm all in for. You have to watch it.
I'm so bad with names and titles. That's the problem. I will have to go scour my Netflix and Prime and Dark I will remember, but I mean the ones that I really have enjoyed and watched.
Oh yeah.
I have to go look to see what I've watched because I watch it, it's over, and I forget.
And then did you guys watch Severance? Do you have Apple TV?
No, I know. Everybody keeps saying that.
Severance.
Everybody keeps saying that.
I will shout it from the mountaintops. They just wrapped on season 2, and I have never waited for a show before. And that strike that they had in Hollywood scared me because the last time that happened, stuff was canceled. I didn't get any kind of closure on some of my shows, and I was so afraid that Severance was going to get the axe. But they just finished, and season 2 is going to come out hopefully later this year. It is so good. You have to watch it. You must. I did this exact thing with my sister. She was like, okay, I'll watch it. Not 4 hours later, she's like, I'm already halfway through. What is this? I'm like, just keep watching. It is so good. So you must.
You keep telling me, and then I
just get it for like a week and then cancel it.
Just do the free.
Yeah, just do the free and watch and then cancel it, and then
I'll have to, I guess.
You have to. I'm telling you.
Peer pressure.
You must.
Peer pressure. I've never succumbed to that. I'm usually the peer pressurer.
No, you must watch Severance. I think that's my favorite show that's out. So that and stupid reality shows.
Oh, yeah. What, like Love is Blind?
Well, yes.
The Circle?
Oh, I've watched a little bit of The Circle. I am Vanderpump Rules watcher. Okay. And I've watched it since the beginning. I don't know why I started watching it. I think Emma was really little when it started. It was when we moved back here. I think she wasn't even 1 yet. And it came out. And yeah, I started watching it and haven't stopped since. And it's my guilty pleasure. The people who used to be 20 years old on that show are in their 40s now. Let's just put it that way. I have my guilty pleasure. What's your guilty pleasure show?
I would say Love is Blind.
Love is Blind?
Yes.
I know a lot of people who like it.
Oh my gosh. There are some people on there that I fast forward when they're talking. Because they annoy me. I mean, there were some people, and it's like, you have no business looking for someone to marry because you don't have your stuff figured out.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's like you are not, having been married for, in June, it'll be 20 years. Yeah.
You guys are ancient.
Yes. I was like, yeah, I know what it takes and you don't got it.
Should be a marriage counselor.
You're too self-centered. You're too into all about me. Doesn't work that way. Nope. Doesn't work.
The harsh wedding counselor.
Yes.
You don't have it. Just divorce now.
Well, I have been called brutally honest. So
brutally honest. Yep.
I don't sugarcoat things.
No.
I'm not great with small talk either.
You've been great so far.
Well, it's not small talk. That's like
This is
catching
small.
up with a friend. You know what I mean? It's not like
little
getting
talk.
to meet you.
I know. Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I don't make friends well. Sorry.
I don't play well with others.
Yeah. Well, as I say, Troy has a t-shirt that says that.
And that's true about Troy.
Yeah.
I love Troy because he doesn't like people.
I don't really like people either. The more I'm around them, the less I like them.
I remember one day Troy came to work. I think he
Yes.
picked you up or something, and we all ran outside to try to get a glimpse of him
Yes.
because otherwise
You wouldn't see
Troy's
him.
not around.
You've been to my house, so
Yes,
you've
I've
seen
seen him in his natural habitat.
You've seen him,
But it was hilarious because a group of us were like, "Oh my gosh, Troy's here!" And then you got in the car, and just sped away.
Well, one of our friends, one of our former coworkers, she jumped on the hood. Well, she didn't jump on the hood. She just put her hands on the hood and it's like, "You're not moving till I meet you." That's what she said to him. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he was forced in that moment.
Yes. And I mean, he doesn't need to meet people.
No.
There isn't a requirement, though. He's always had to, do one family thing a year.
Yeah.
My parents are fine. He has no problem with them, but
Mhm.
larger groups,
Yeah.
not so much.
I can get that. I can get on board with that. The older I get, I'm just like, do I really want to go?
Yeah.
Well, I've had the infamous nickname in the past of being back out Pan because I would back out of things. And to be honest, completely honest, I'm going to go to a dark place. That is all about anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
depression.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
all of that.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that's a lot of why I'm friends only with certain people.
Mhm.
And when I tell people, it's not like being conceited. You're blessed if I want to spend time with you, but it's like, you should consider it a good thing because I feel comfortable with you.
Right.
I don't feel anxious around you. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? What are we going to talk about? But yeah, anxiety is a big reason of why I've backed out of things too.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, we over the years, you take those Myers-Briggs tests.
Yeah.
You're either an introvert, extrovert. Starting out, I think in my 20s, I would always be an extrovert. Then somewhere along the way in my 30s, when I started, it was like introvert. So now I'm an introvert.
Oh, I think I've always been an introvert. I mean, my friends from back home wouldn't think this, but they don't realize that I met them when I was 4 and didn't necessarily have this anxiety. And so because I already was friends with them, I was more outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have had to been moved to a different school district, which at one point, because my dad was a principal at a different school district, we almost did, I would have been a wallflower.
Yeah.
I mean, even I still was a wallflower somewhat around people I grew up with my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think I was always introverted. Well, and my sister is very outgoing, so I was always like, be the center of attention,
Yes,
and
go
nobody pays
ahead.
attention to me.
I know. I feel like I am very much an observer of situations. And I have to go, when I go into a place where there's a lot of people, I kind of observe the room
Mhm.
and kind of see where I'm going to end up. See, okay, where's the safe place that I can go?
Well, and to be honest, I think it might be similar for you. You've probably always been an introvert too.
Mhm.
Because one thing I've noticed about introverts is we all are observers.
Mm.
We observe more than we insert ourselves.
Mhm.
Once we're comfortable and, people
Yeah.
are no longer strangers, then we insert ourselves a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because the people I'm close to, know that I talk a lot.
Mhm.
People I'm not close to don't know I talk at all.
I went to a high school reunion. I think it was my 20th reunion. I think it was somewhere around there. I jumped up and did karaoke. Of course, I do improv too, which
Yeah,
helps
yeah.
with that. And it's helped in my work, to get up in front of people and do that. But I just jumped up and started doing karaoke. And someone was like, she didn't hardly even talk in school. And one of my friends was like, clearly you don't know her. Because
she never shut up.
that's exactly what she's like.
Yeah. Well, and there's like 3 of my friends from school that I reconnected with. And those were the people that I knew that I could just be me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not putting on airs, not trying to one up on someone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do feel like one of our superpowers as an introvert and an observer is we can always tell the bullshit.
Yes.
Like we can always
Bullshit
pick the
detector is
person who's
always
not
on.
quite right.
Yep. Don't blow smoke.
Yeah,
I
I know.
will. Yeah.
I'll
I will
catch it.
see it. Yep.
Catch it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that I kind of don't mind that. I'm very astute about people. I can peg someone's personality pretty quickly. And
Yep.
I'm usually not wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
We've had some times.
Yes.
Had some times.
I was like, now I'm like all the things that I would have talked about in some of my items are taken care of. Might have fewer
No.
things.
No,
I know.
you always have a junk drawer that you can rifle through.
Multiple.
Yeah. Well, look around. I was afraid you might break your leg coming into my den of despair and junk piles, because where I do my podcast is also my craft room and also my laundry room and also my office. So it's quite an array
And
of
soon
junk.
if you take that box down and open it, soon your exercise room too.
Yeah, it'll be a gym because I got one of those treadmills for under my desk because I work mainly at home and I am to the age where I can't be sitting all the time. I need to get up.
I just noticed I think you have the same desk I do.
Probably Amazon.
Yes. Yes. Because I'm too cheap to buy the expensive electrical one that Troy has.
Well, we have this great perk at our work. And again, I won't say where it is, but every quarter they give us a certain amount of money for a list of things that have to do with exercise stuff or hobbies or things like that. And you can use that money toward I use that for that desk.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I use that for the paddleboard.
Yeah. I also use it a lot at the book loft. I won't lie.
Okay. I just go to the library.
Yeah. Well, I did too until I stopped working there, and now I don't go as often.
Yes. What else? Oh, I got a peddler, so now I have a really nice.
I have
peddler,
one of those too, but I really need to get up and walk.
Yeah.
So, and we're always on Zoom during the day, so I feel like I could have a lot of time to get up and walk around. So I should.
Yeah. One thing is difficult though when exercising, if you have to like really edit stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. And another thing, I was telling Mike this the other day, because I like to listen to podcasts and music, but if I'm editing, I cannot.
I can have some background music on.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something I'm going to want to sing along to.
Right.
But yeah, podcasts.
No, I can't, because sometimes there have been instances where I have been editing and listening to someone talk and I start writing down what they're saying. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what what this should say.
I see when I'm editing and listening to podcasts, I just completely don't hear what they said. So it was a waste of it.
And I could never do like an audio book or something because I just won't remember anything.
Yeah, I do that stuff when I'm working out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not while I'm working.
Yeah. No. Like there's only a certain amount of time or a certain task that I'm doing that I can listen to things like that because I will lose track. Can't do it. Tell me something else I don't know about you, Alicia, which isn't very much.
There's not much that you don't know about me, Amanda.
Tell me a secret.
A secret. I can make one up.
No.
I don't know. I don't know that I have a secret.
What are you looking forward to this week?
The end of it?
Yeah. Touche.
Well, my birthday's coming up at the end of the week, so.
That's right. Alicia's birthday. Well, happy birthday. This is your gift. You get to
I get to be humiliated online.
Right. You're going to be posted online, which I might add is now on YouTube.
Thank you.
Please subscribe.
Yes. I was searching for it all weekend because you said you were going to put it up on the weekend.
I didn't.
I kept looking.
I had to cart Emma around to choir rehearsals and performances. But I got it up today. And they have changed it in the last, 6 months or so, because now you can ingest an RSS feed directly and it just pulls from your feed, which is very easy.
That was probably because Google Podcast went away. So
yes,
I think this was the week that it was officially gone and everything was YouTube now.
Yeah, because I looked at the video and the comments were like, oh, thanks so much for doing this. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Because the other way to do it was a little more convoluted because I had to, do all that stuff myself. So it does it automatically. So it just pulls in the feed.
I mean, if you have a file, it's not that hard to upload it. But
okay, Miss Smarty Pants.
I mean, one
Watch
of the
out,
things I have to do for work.
producer.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I do that quite a bit in my job.
I know. I have to say that I'm learning to like the editorial process of editing audio.
Oh, yeah. I love that. It's very, when I have the time, I just really like it.
Maybe it speaks to my meticulous editorial nature.
Yeah.
Because I like to hear it back and then hear something I want to cut and then cut it precisely where I need to.
Yeah.
I just like it.
And I like that when you get used to it, which we talked about, you can all these little lip smacks which I probably have tons of, and all the breaths.
I'll count them for you when I'm editing. I will count all the lip smacks and deep
that's
breaths.
why I'm like, I need to drink more
and drink and slurps.
Yeah, and put chapstick on because I know that I'm having a lot of issues. But I like. When you get used to it, you can definitely see where those things are.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the having time. This year, I've had to edit way too many things of audio, and I don't, and I haven't had the time.
You do video and audio, and that is...
The video stuff I try not to do very much because you have to, we talked about this because it's really hard because you have a person's face, which is why we're not doing this in video.
Yeah, well, there are several reasons why I don't want it.
There are many reasons. I didn't have to brush my hair. No, I did brush my hair. But like when you're editing something, it's hard to take something out without it looking weird. When I just had a client who I had a video of a person that I had to record, and he smiles and then he kind of frowns right before he talks. So she was like, can you make it so like there's less before he talks? And I was like, well, I was trying to have him have a good, pleasant looking face, you know? I don't want him to be like frowning or making a weird face, like, right? Yeah, exactly. Because that's what it starts on. That's what's on the screen all the time. So yeah,
that is hard. I don't know if I could do that. You'd have to teach me.
Well, yes. One of our other coworkers, I prefer to let him do the video as much as possible.
I know of who you speak.
Because he's really good at it.
We'll call him Lord of Legos.
Lord of Legos. Roller coaster man. Yeah. He was one of the people who I had lots of ideas of items he could have if he was going to be on this podcast.
Yeah, well, I should have him on. He had a lot to talk about. Yeah. He'll probably listen too.
So we got off track, so I don't even remember.
I always get off track.
We were talking about the audio.
Lots of tangents on this show.
I was going to say, I'm usually a squirrel wrangler, but I kind of got sucked down the trail with you, so I don't remember what we were saying. I think it was about the audio editing.
It was.
I think
the meticulous
on it.
Part of editing.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's the thing, like editing anything. If you learn what to look for, and if you have the kind of attention to detail that we do.
Yeah. Well, and also it's kind of fascinating. We always say when you put a group of editors in the room, they'll always edit something differently. Yep. They'll always see something different.
I edit it differently on a given day.
I do too.
If I have to I try to like do things in chunks so that I'm not on a different day, because what I thought was the best way to do it 2 days before
I'm glad
may
you
not
said
be
that,
what.
because when I do that, I'm like, oh, I'm terrible at this.
Well, and then
after
I know.
25 years.
And then I think, oh my gosh, I have to go back to everything. Nope, I don't have time for that. So.
That's right. Sometimes it's less about the grammatical thing that you're editing, because that's correct. It's intent behind it or something like that. You're like, well, is that the way I would say? It's very subjective sometimes depending on what you're editing.
Yes,
but, I do that too, though. I go back and I'm like, did I really need to do it that way? Well, today I did. Anything else today, Alicia? Are you tapped out at the moment?
Yeah, I had to think today. So, yeah.
I know.
Well, actually, I had to, I got voluntold to talk in our center meeting today, too. So
yeah, you did. This is what happens when you're a star student.
Oh, gosh. Well, you're a star student, too, because I drag you everywhere because I only trust you.
I like to fly under the radar.
Yes, I know. Well, I am a forever joiner, and this is back to my stupid sorority days. I join, and then I get so overwhelmed. This year, I dumped almost everything that I joined. That was not work that I'm actually paid to do. I'm talking about all the above and beyond.
Yeah,
because
I know.
Everybody relies on me to do it. And so, even if I try to take a lesser role in something, it's still, everybody assumes I'm going to do it. So
you're too darn responsible and dependable. And
well, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm finished.
I'm over it.
Taking my bag and leaving.
Yeah, I will get done what I am paid to get done.
I got to that point with extra things like Girl Scouts and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, why am I doing this when it just stresses me out and I have other things I have to do, and I'm busy with work this year on a much bigger level, and I just can't do it. I have to say no, and it's okay to say no. I've learned that too.
Yeah, that's another thing my supervisors told me. No is a complete sentence.
It is.
It's yes.
You can put a period after it.
Yes, I'm getting yes, you can. Oh my gosh, that's one of my pet peeves. When people don't put periods after things that are real sentences and put periods after things that are not. How can you? Sorry,
let me lead you over to my computer and open it up and show you some things that are complete sentences with no periods. You know of which I speak.
Yes, I do. I know we work with the same people. But yes, well, and the people are it should be long enough. It needs a period, right? And it's there is no subject.
That's not how sentences work.
There's no subject. It cannot have a period.
There's no verb here.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually it's the subject. Unless you is assumed,
right,
you can have that. But if there's no verb. If there's no verb, it's not a sentence. But yeah, you can be assumed. So
yes. And I'd like to say that right now to anyone listening who doesn't understand that. The assumed you. Let's, for instance, say, take out the trash. That is a full sentence. Full sentence. That deserves its place in sentencery. And I've just made up that word.
That is grammatically correct.
It is correct. Go do your homework. That is a full sentence.
Yes, because it is assumed that it's you because I'm looking directly at you, yelling at you.
Right. If it's something you would say to your kid to go do, it's probably a sentence. So that's my lesson for today that I'd like to get out there to people.
And use serial commas because we don't eat grandma.
Yes. Can you explain the serial comma?
Yes. The serial comma is a comma before and or before a conjunction. I'm losing all sense of all the terms. Before a conjunction, you put a comma. If there's a list of several things, you put the comma at the end of the item that comes before and or.
Yes. Have you ever heard of the grammar table? There's a lady who goes around with a table. It's a grammar table. Yeah. And she gives out grammar advice.
Oh, no.
She wrote a book called Rebel Without a Clause. And
yes, I do know
it's my
that one.
Favorite book about grammar and the English language that I've ever read. It's so helpful because she also puts it in a perspective that I always use. I know I complain about things like the implied you and all of that, but she says it so perfectly. It's like, you don't fight about it. I mean, it's not worth an argument with a best friend about it.
It is when your best friend's an editor.
Well, that is true. But if you're in a group with friends at a party and you're hooting it up with your alcohol on a Friday night and you're trying to impart some grammatical lessons and it's not flying well, just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. It's okay. They'll either learn or not.
Like it or not, you can end sentences with prepositions now.
Yes, you can. Yeah. What are the most up-and-coming grammatical updates that we've had recently? I feel like there have been. Prepositions are one.
Prepositions, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'll have to think about it. I'll get back to you on that.
I would say you're more on top of that. I have other training things that I always have to stay on top of.
Newsletters about updates to the...
Yeah. I don't necessarily pay attention
Chicago
to
manual of
style.
style.
I don't get those updates. I probably unsubscribed if I did.
Yeah. I like those updates. I always get words of the day and things like that. Boy, I'm a real nerd here.
I was going to say,
word
nerd.
Word nerd. I also like to read about the etymology of words, things like that. So I find that interesting. And
I had a friend in school. He always won the spelling bees because he read the dictionary from cover to cover.
Yeah.
He knew the etymology of every word.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible speller.
I know.
I didn't care about the etymology of anything.
You're pretty good at stick figures drawing.
Yes, I was wondering if this was going to come up.
I'm so glad
one of the things with my red pen that I had to draw at the place that we worked, we sometimes would have to provide illustrations to our graphic people. And I share everything with Amanda, whether I should or not. I had to draw a map of a town. And she did not think that it was.
I think my response was, "Is this to scale?"
Yeah, yes. And did a second grader drawing. It was for a second grade book, so
it would have passed.
It would have been fine. But yes, it's the same with my handwriting. My husband has comment on it all the time because. Well, everybody does. This is something I don't. There's a secret, but I think you already knew it. It goes back to the anxiety, because I did say 4. I didn't have it. 5, my parents who were both teachers, they were educators, and my mom was a reading teacher, which is why I know all the grammar rules, but I don't necessarily keep up to date on all the grammar stuff. They had to pull me out of school when I was 5 because I would cry myself to sleep because I couldn't write as good as the teacher. Which everyone who knows my writing now knows I got over that.
You were able to get over that hurdle.
I'm a horrible writer. Hey, I can read it.
That's all that's important. You can spell it out when it's necessary.
Yeah.
Just type it.
My mom, actually, when I had to start writing papers in the 4th or 5th grade, my mom made me type them because she said, I will not subject a fellow teacher to your handwriting. So...
Oh,
I type things.
Precious.
All of my poetry, though, is handwritten.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I'm sure it's not anymore.
Yeah. But if I'm taking notes in a meeting or something, then yes, it's chicken scratch.
Are you a doodler on meeting notes?
No, because I'm too precise and I don't have time if I'm going to capture most things.
I'm a doodler.
Which I used to get voluntold to take meeting notes because I was so meticulous about them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just don't take notes and I just jot down main things that I have to remember for myself.
Yeah.
Unless I'm leading the meeting, then I take notes.
Smart. Very smart.
But not handwritten ones.
No, not handwritten. Oh, Alicia, it's been a lovely evening talking with you. I hope you come back. I hope this hasn't scared you away.
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
Scared me away. I still got plenty of my items. You asked me questions that kind of made them obsolete, but we can revisit them.
No, we'll revisit. It's fine. Save that blow up kayak for me. I'm going to be out to do that and sample your baking wares because I'm going to be first in line for the the pumpkin roll and the...
Oh, the pumpkin roll. I can put you on the list. I have a list of people I make them for.
Yes. Put me on that list.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to my Big Fat Junk Drawer. Again, please like, subscribe, I don't know, all of those things. I'm on Spotify, Apple, YouTube now, pretty much everywhere you get your podcast. You can also find me at mybigfatjunkdrawer.com and my email, mybigfatjunkdrawer@gmail.com. You can always email me if you want to talk junk drawer. So keep tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.